Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt, joined by my good buddy Adam Glynn out in New York, and we're going to do the Raw Rundown today, get you caught up on everything in entertainment news, so you go into this long weekend feeling informed and up to date with all celebrity news and gossip.
Yeah, it's true. It was like a weird week in entertainment news. This is like one of the slowest weeks of the year because a lot of the TV shows aren't even like shooting, and it's a weird week in celebrity news. But
we got no sleeves here on the podcast today.
No sleeves, baby.
Neither one of us are wearing a full shirt. Well, it's hot as hell here in California, by the way. It's like 105 or something, just dumb hot. So I could not bring myself around to wearing any sleeves.
I was going to talk about my sort of VMA experience, but I think we have a story that kind of goes along with it. So I'll save the VMA, my experience from that, for our top 10 stories of the week.
Sounds good. Let's jump into a couple of reviews to say thank you to those people that took the time to leave them. This one comes from Vita8S. 5 stars, says, the best listener from Nigeria. I love this. The show keeps getting me updated and entertained. Holy crap. You might be our furthest listener, Vita8S. Thank you for listening all the way in Nigeria.
Yes.
We've never had anyone that far away, right?
India.
Maybe we did have
remember we were the number one podcast in India for a while?
Oh, we were. That was cool. But that was because we had Sunny Leone on, who was a huge
Bollywood star.
Indian star. Okay, so thank you. Oh, hold on. Let me delete that one out so I don't reread it again. All right, next one is from Lola LP. Thanks for the memories. 5 stars. I first heard of them on Juicy Scoop podcast, and I knew I had to subscribe. I worked in entertainment PR in the early 2000s, and this podcast definitely takes me back to those times. Thanks for the memories. Hey, this podcast takes me back to some of the crazier times in my life, so I can totally understand how it's taken you back, especially if you had any knowledge of the inner workings of Hollywood and PR at that time when it was just absolutely batshit crazy.
That time, I mean, it was crazier pre-social than it is now, but
well, no. It was crazier in some regards, but now that they're social and people with cell phones and everyone's a paparazzi, it's a different beast.
It's just different.
Who was that again? Lola LP. Thank you, Lola LP.
Thank you.
And one last one. This one comes from Missy in Western PA, and it's just titled Cato with 5 stars. Loved the Cato episode from Missy in PA.
Thank you, Missy.
I loved that episode too.
That was a fun one for me.
Yeah, Cato was great.
Great.
And I remember going into that episode not knowing what the hell we were going to get. And he like literally tags us all day, every day, and all kinds of things that he's posting.
Yeah,
so we appreciate that. We appreciate him.
I love, like, of all the cases, like the O.J. Simpson case, I'm obsessed with still. Like, people are still obsessed with. Even more, I don't know, the O.J. case even struck a chord with me more than the Johnny Depp case, but it was a whole different type of story, but it was a lot longer, the OJ case.
A lot longer.
Yeah.
Plus, we were a lot younger. Okay. Let's get into it so we can get everyone out of here within that, 25-minute range. All right. Number 10, yeah? You want to do number 10, or you want to go the opposite way today and just switch it up and be crazy?
Let's number 10 and go 1. What we got?
All right. I thought you were going to be crazy and wild and spontaneous, but never mind. All right. Number 10, Stacey Dash breaks down in an emotional video about sobriety after learning DMX died. Only he died a year ago, guys. So Stacey Dash, she put this video on TikTok where she is just bawling, and she says, I'm ashamed. I didn't know DMX died. I didn't know from a cocaine overdose. She said that she is 6 years sober and 1 month clean, and it breaks her heart. She says, it breaks my heart that he lost to it. He lost to that demon. Please don't lose. And the whole time she's just crying and she can't keep herself together. And it was a weird video, I must say. Yeah. And people in the comments there's some people just bashing her and other people actually feeling compassion for her. What did you feel for her?
I understand how it's just, when you read the headline, it just sounds ridiculous. But then when you look into the video, you do get compassion for it. So I understand both sides. Does that make sense?
Because you can tell it's genuine emotion.
Yeah.
But I guess, okay, the thing is though, for most people, you find out something like that and you go and you cry by yourself or whatever your emotion is, but you don't film it and put it on TikTok. And I think that's the part that was kind of weird. Why did she feel the need to share this moment with the world?
Well, I think a lot of the headlines got me because, the first headline I saw, it made me feel like Stacey Dash just learns that DMX died over a year ago. But they didn't really talk about her sobriety journey that kind of went along with, So it was more about her than her sobriety. It was more about her finding
It
out
was
DMX
hers,
just died than her sobriety journey.
but her wrapping in that she's been sober for 6 years and she doesn't want other people to go down that path. Again,
Yeah.
still a strange video to post. I feel like those emotions, you could have that same conversation. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just was unusual. And to me, I think that we're in this day and age where people can't just have a moment to themselves. They have to post that moment for the world. And it's bizarre.
Can I tell you one thing about Stacey Dash? One of the prettiest celebrities I've seen in person.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
I have never seen her in person.
Very
So
pretty.
I
She was very
will
nice.
trust you.
You know what's so funny? So I always tell these
It's
weird
her eyes.
stories.
She's got these
She's
beautiful
got
eyes.
beautiful
Man.
eyes. She's very pretty. Obviously she's very conservative now, and I've heard stories about her. Nothing crazy, just
No, she's had
interesting
a lot of
stories.
weird stories
Yeah,
come out
she's got
about
weird
her
stories.
too.
However, this is a funny story. I used to have a great relationship. Can I do? Can I tell you this? Can I tell you the story?
You better be fast.
I know. I used to have a really good relationship with the Fox building security. And it's right in Midtown on like 52nd and
Okay,
okay,
time's
whatever.
up.
52nd and 6. Anyway, Fox building Midtown. I was friends with all the security. One day, Stacey Dash was doing a show there in like a side building where she had to kind of go out of the building, go into another building to go back to the offices. And when she got out of the offices, I wanted to interview Stacey Dash. I mean, Stacey Dash is Stacey Dash. So I start to interview her. Like I pull the camera. I start to interview her, and all of a sudden she was being super cool. But then another person jumps in the video. And it's another woman who works at Fox News, and I didn't even know she was. And I was sort of like, "Hey, I'm trying to just talk to Stacey. I really don't want you." Like I was just like, "Oh, cool, thanks so much." Like I was just really trying to focus on Stacey because she's a star. The woman, I kind of got a weird energy from me, like that I realized that I didn't want to talk to her. She complained to security that I was on the property on Fox building on the Fox property, and she complained to security. And the next day, security at Fox said, "Adam, we love you, but this girl, this anchor, complained
Who
to
was it?
security." I don't even know the girl's name. If I saw her face, I'd be able to look at her face, but because I don't know like the Fox, I don't watch Fox News. I don't know the anchors, but the anchor complained to the security and went to like the heads up, and I got banned from. I'm banned from the property.
You're a dickhead. You need to focus on both women next time.
Whatever.
You need to make that a three-way kind of interview.
No, I'll keep it Stacey Dash. She's very pretty. All right, number 9.
All right, number 9 is Anne Heche's son. I guess went to court to seek to be in charge of her estate. So, Anne Heche's son, his name is Homer Heche Laffoon. He's 20 years old. He filed a request to basically be the executor of all things of his late mom's estate. He did say that he's looking to look over all her personal property and her annual income, which is in quote unquote unknown. So he does have a younger brother who he said he would also like to make sure that he is in charge of anything that could go to his younger brother as well. But yeah, just I guess represent his brother's interests is technically the quote during all of this in the estate.
Sad. It's sad,
Yeah.
as a son, and especially being a young guy and having a young mom.
Yeah, 20 years old and having to like think about all this and run to court and do all that. Because here's the deal: she didn't have a will.
Yeah.
There was no will. So, and I always find that so strange. Like someone at some point in her life had to have said, "You have money. You're a big actress. You have 2 children. Get a will." Like or an estate planning, like someone step in to make sure that if that day ever comes, your children don't have to deal with all the the crap that comes along with someone dying without a will.
Yeah, it's sad, and to be 20 years old in that situation for your mom is it's not, especially the way she unfortunately passed away. It's a tough few weeks for him. So,
Yeah, no
all
kidding.
right, number 8.
Number 8, Chris Rock is being slammed for a joke about Nicole Brown Simpson's murder. So recently, Rock had a show, and I want to say it was in Arizona. And during his show, let me find the exact quote. He joked that someone asked him, "Will you go back to the Academy Awards and host it?" And he said, "I would not go back to the Academy Awards because it would be like Simpson asking Simpson to go back to the restaurant where she left her eyeglasses before she was killed." Oh.
You know, I don't.
Oh. And so let me go on, and I can read some of the tweets and comments that people are putting up because people are pissed. One person said, "The more Chris Rock talks, the more you begin to see why Will Smith smacked fire out of him." That guy received 14,000 likes on that tweet. And then a lot of people were just like, comparing what happened to him to what happened to Nicole Brown Simpson is truly tasteless and not funny at all. Another person wrote, "Disrespect the black women, and that's okay, but damn it, disrespect a dead white woman, and he's hated." Because people started bringing in, oh, like you let him get away when he disrespected Jada, but now you're not going to let him get away with it.
Here's what I don't like about this story. It's going on for a lot of news stories where it's an easy clickbait story where, especially with social media, it'll happen with something else where they'll just say, people are so mad. And it's just like 10 tweets of people that are pissed off. And then they just make a story about the 10 tweets. But what about the 80 tweets that people said they liked it or were laughing at the joke or retweeted it or reposted it? So I'm not a fan of this story. It became a big news story, but I'm not a fan of these type of stories.
I feel like I've defended Chris Rock a lot over the last little bit. There is a certain amount of like, keep dead people out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like there is that. And whether she's white, she's black, she's whatever. I think that it's a very touchy subject, especially when it comes to Nicole Brown Simpson with America and people in general. And so I don't know. I feel like he wants to be so risky with his jokes, but sometimes just like, let's dial it back just a little bit, Chris.
He was trying to be funny at the end of the day, and
he was trying to be funny, but he garnished a lot of respect from a lot of people over this incident, and now he keeps screwing that up.
Chris, it's a difficult time to be funny right now. So that's all I can say. It's a hard time to be funny, and it's hard to please everyone. So, but all I can say is just keep doing you. Keep doing you. There's,
from the words
you're batting
of
average.
Adam Glynn, keep doing you.
But I hate these stories because we're letting the internet make stories where it could be just a few tweets of people outraged. Yeah, there's what do? We get some shit about a little bit of backlash.
We get outraged tweets as well.
Yeah, but then all of a sudden
the difference is we welcome them. Bring on the outrage tweets.
I request them on IG. I'm like, hey, let's be friends. All right, number 7.
Number 7, Rob Schneider saying that SNL was over. And he knew there was an exact moment when he thought the show had basically jumped the ship, and that was when Kate McKinnon performed Hallelujah as Hillary Clinton. And if you remember, that was literally right after Trump won the election. First SNL was her dressed up as Hillary, sitting in a piano, singing Hallelujah. And so Rob Schneider, who is obviously an SNL alumni, went on the Glenn Beck podcast and said that, I hate to crap on my own show because obviously on Saturday Night Live, but he said when Hillary Clinton lost, which is understandable, she's not exactly the most likable person in the room. And then when Kate McKinnon went out there on Saturday Night Live in the cold opening and all that and just started dressed as Hillary Clinton and she started playing Hallelujah, I literally prayed, please have a joke at the end. And he goes, there was no joke at the end. It just basically cut over to her saying live from New York at Saturday night. And he's like, that was the moment I knew the show was over.
Do you... I mean,
do you kind of agree with it? Like, I'm not saying the show is over, but I
no,
do feel they got super political,
it got
which
weird, and you want.
it got weird political.
Here's the thing: is number one, I thought it was weird that I shouldn't say weird, but it was interesting that Rob went on Glenn Beck. But it's not weird. It's just a show of all the shows to say. I guess that's the only show where you can actually talk about something like this, because he's not going to be able to talk about this type of material on Live with Ryan and Kelly. But I did think that was a weird moment, and I did talk to another person who was a Saturday Night alum who agreed that it was a weird moment in the show. So
I think what I like about Saturday Night Live is they poke fun at everyone. I like when you just go after all politicians, when you make fun of Hillary, when you make fun of Trump, when you make fun of Biden. Like, I think that's what they're there for. They're there to bring levity to a really tough time in our culture and our country, and tensions are high, and they break that tension. But when they just blatantly really choose a side, whether you agree with the side or don't agree with the side, that's when I'm like, oh, this feels weird.
yeah, just be funny. I'm not
Just
going there to hear
exactly,
an angle.
just be funny. I don't want to hear your opinions. I just want you to be funny.
Exactly. I'm not there to get a perspective. I just want to have fun. With that said, let's get to the number 6 story.
Number 6, Leah Michele addressing the Funny Girl casting controversy and accusations of bullying on the Glee set. Do you remember? Screw the Funny Girl stuff. I really don't care because I'm not a Broadway fan by any means. But do you remember how big the accusations of her being a bully on the set of Glee were?
I do.
Like, that she had all these microaggressions and that she was making it a nightmare for everyone to work on the set. And she was just basically the biggest bully. And that there was also an internet rumor that was going around that she was illiterate. Do you remember that one?
I do. Did she
Okay.
first of all, did she ever address any of that?
No, because she couldn't read it. So she never saw any of the stories.
Okay. Okay. I see what you did there.
No, I'm just kidding. So there was a new interview with the New York Times where she talked about a lot of this. And let me get her quotes. She said, number one, she said, I went to Glee every single day. I knew my lines every single day. And then there's a rumor online that I can't read or write. It's sad. It really is. I think often that if I were a man, a lot of this wouldn't be the case. So apparently I can confirm Leah Michele does know how to read and write.
That's good. I mean,
That's good.
I wouldn't judge her if she couldn't, but listen, I guess she could.
She did go on to say that about her work ethic, that there was a lot of pressure of perfectionism left with her, with a lot of blind spots. So the way that I read into that is that she probably was a nightmare, and that is her way of coping with it, was saying, you know what, I was trying to do everything perfect, and unfortunately I was so blinded by my trying to be perfect with everything that I missed what was going on around me.
So did she? I think this is such like a weird way. I mean, a good way for her, but a PR way of getting around the whole "I was an asshole on set."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because her rep basically said, this is what I want you to say, because it's going to make you sound like you were just striving to be the best rather than being a total bitch to everyone around you.
Yeah. It was,
Yeah.
it was just very massaged way of, because I felt like it was weird when all that was going on about people being assholes on set. I don't think, and I could be wrong, that she was one of the few people that never really addressed it. She just kind of like, oh, that was it. And she just never talked about it, never discussed it. And that was it. But now,
when you know it's true, though, when like 5 people from the show came out and all agreed.
Yeah.
That's when okay, this is not a one person crying wolf. This is 5 people being like, I can't stand her. She's horrible to work with, and had numerous accusations against her.
I'm sorry if I was an asshole at work. I'm just so focused on the character, and the character's a little bit of an asshole, so it sort of goes with each other. It's not really who I am. I'm a funny girl, and that's why I'm playing Funny Girl on Broadway coming this fall. No. Yeah, it's interesting, nice way of massaging this story of kind of addressing it, but like trying to move on of her being an asshole on set. All right, next story.
All right. We are number
Number
five.
five.
Kevin Federline reveals he couldn't get involved with the Britney Spears conservatorship despite feeling quote unquote mortified for her. So he is doing an interview with 60 Minutes Australia. They put out a teaser on Wednesday. I guess this whole thing is a sit down. He must be getting paid
He's
a boatload of
60
money
Minutes
for,
Australia. Come on.
dude, I'm sure they're paying him a fortune.
Yeah.
Australia has notoriously always paid big money for interviews with people.
Yeah.
So the full episode will air on Sunday, September 4th. I don't know if we can watch it here.
I'm gonna see the
Maybe they'll
clips.
post it on YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, so he gets into it and basically said he was mortified for her and that he still feels bad. He says that he claims that he couldn't allow her legal drama to be his problem since he had to make sure that their children, Sean and Jaden, were his priority during a really rough time in their life. He said, the boys, the boys, the boys, I had to worry about them. I couldn't get involved. He did say, however, he maintained that his job was always been keeping the boys safe. He said that it's been a few months since they've actually seen their mother. And then when it comes to relationship with Brittany, he said that it evolved over the years. It was amazing until it wasn't. So it sounds like he definitely does not have a real relationship with Brittany at this point. And keep in mind that comes after, he did that tell-all interview with Britain's ITV where he said the boys have decided they don't want to see her right now, and that was like right after the wedding, which I think was pretty brutal. That's when she claimed, or she went on Instagram and just went after him, saying, it saddens me to hear that my ex-husband has decided to discuss the relationship between me and my children. And as we all know, raising teenage boys is never easy for anyone. It concerns me that the fact that the reason is based on my Instagram. It was a long before Instagram. I gave them everything. So I feel bad for Brittany. I'm sorry. Like, why is he talking?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up,
I,
Kevin Federline.
I do feel bad for Brittany. I agree with you, Dax. Why is he talking? But the other
He
way,
kept his mouth closed for years.
yeah.
So is it the money stopped flowing in so he doesn't feel the need to be quiet anymore? Is it he had some deal with Jamie Spears or Lynn Spears and they paid him to keep quiet? I don't know what the case is, but why is he talking now? I don't understand.
But here's the only thing that came to my head when he started talking. Where obviously, number one, he got paid. He had to have get paid. I don't know for sure, but he had to have get paid. That's just my thoughts around it. Number two, he doesn't want the boys can't really speak on their behalf because they're younger than 18. So he'd rather be the one. Let me control the narrative. Let me talk, so you guys could have a life. Obviously people know who he is, but he doesn't want the kids to be on screen because the kids sort of look like assholes. Hey, we're not going to our mom's wedding. So it's just like they sort of look like dicks. And he's like, no, let me speak for them because they're young. That's the only thing I could think of.
I don't know. I think that they could have kept quiet. I don't think any of this needed to be public.
That
They could
I
have had
agree.
all these conversations alone behind closed doors.
That I agree. It's sad. It's crazy. It's weird. I am interested in seeing this interview though.
Oh yeah.
Zhao, come on now.
Don't get me wrong. I will be tuning in.
All right, number 4.
I say, why do you talk, Kevin Federline? But let me listen first before you shut up.
Number 4.
All right. Number 4, Young Gravy defending Addison Rae's mother, Sherry, and tells fans, leave her alone after that whole MTV VMA's red carpet smooch. So if you've been following this, Addison Rae's mom, who is 42, went down the red carpet with Young Gravy, who is a rapper who's 26 years old. If you've never heard who he is, she's recently single after her very highly publicized split from Monty Lopez. After there's been numerous allegations of him flirting with young girls and being very just into other women at clubs, and God, I've heard that basically Addison Rae is just horrified, or I'm sorry, mortified is what the quote was, to be watching her parents go through all of this in such a public way.
Yeah. First of all, Young Gravy, great commercial for Young Gravy with Addison Rae's mom. It was interesting to see that setup. I do feel bad for Addison Rae. You know, like here she
It's
is.
a little too much spotlight on her parents, right?
Yeah, I just feel like she's worked hard to become this young star, and she's actually very nice and sweet. And now, like her parents, it's just like are becoming like
They're
characters.
becoming the Lindsay Lohan's parents,
Yeah, we're just like, guys, chill.
like
Like this is my
Dina and
moment. I
Mike, where you're
worked.
just like, you guys aren't the famous ones. Chill the f out.
Yeah,
So basically, anyway, so they kiss on the red carpet. Everyone attacks her. Young Gravy comes out and says, "Look, she's newly single and living her life. Leave her alone." And then he was speaking to Entertainment Tonight, and he said about dating older women or milfs. They're more experienced. They're an underserviced community, I'd like to say, and they deserve more attention. Then he goes on to say, I've noticed that people have really started giving milfs more attention since my music dropped. Through all this, Monty, the ex, decided he wanted to join into the conversation, posted a shirtless selfie on Instagram with a big quote over it that just says, "Unbothered. Thank you, Young Gravy, for taking the leftovers."
dude.
Good God.
Yeah, this is
He said,
just.
this is gross. He said, I would rather spend time with my daughter and 2 grandkids that Sherry Nicole made me abandon as a child in order to be with her. Never let a woman make you choose between her and or your blood child.
It's weird. It's weird.
It is
At
weird.
the end of the day, I just feel bad for Addison. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
She wasn't at the Video Music Awards. You know, it's just.
Thank
It's
God.
weird.
And she, by the way, she unfollowed both her parents on Instagram, which I don't blame her for
Yeah,
one bit.
it's sad. Honestly, it's just very very sad. And it seemed like she had a very good relationship with her mom and dad in the past, but now it's like
Hmm.
the mom who you want to root for to do the right thing. I just don't think this was the right thing. You know, yes, you could say yes, you moved on, but really, Young Gravy go to the Video Music Awards and make a scene on the red carpet. It's just like just dumb,
Yeah. And
dumb.
Addison, I guess, according to page 6, Addison has seen her parents go through a lot of ups and downs over the years, but everything going on right now has been particularly overwhelming for her. And I can see why. Okay, we got to speed this up. Holy
Yes.
crap, we're running out of time here.
All right, cool. Wait,
All
can I
right.
tell you real quick? I know we're running out of time.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right, my MTV
Nope.
Music
You're
Award.
saving that. We'll have a VMA episode or something. We got to get out of here.
Okay.
All right. I promised people 25 minutes. We're already past 25 minutes. Kanye West claims Gap had a meeting about him without him and canceled a photo shoot with his kids. So if you've been following Ye on Instagram, there he has been going off on Gap. Numerous posts just trashing them and saying that he is now looking for basically to open up brick and mortar stores around the country for Yeezy, because he said that Gap had promised him one, but they're clearly not giving him stores. So he is looking for someone else. I don't know if it was necessarily an investor, but someone that can run the stores. And then he's saying, he went and tweeted basically, what the hell? Why are they having meetings about me without me? And really seemed bothered about that. But I love that Kanye never decides to just keep his own drama private. Like every problem he ever has, he has to put it out there.
He
Like that
just.
is his kryptonite.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I would be nervous to go into business with Kanye because it's just something always happens. I mean, just right now, he just admitted on Instagram that he has an addiction to porn, saying it destroyed his family. It's like, oh, and another one. Like he just keeps
Right?
punching you
He
in the
just can't
stomach
stop
with
himself.
drama. It doesn't end. He wrote down on his Instagram, it goes, Hollywood is a giant brothel. Pornography destroyed my family. Deal with the addiction Instagram promotes if it not gonna let it happen to Northern Chicago. I mean, it's just damn,
Like,
man.
stop, dude. Keep it to yourself. But I guess he was particularly mad because Gap canceled a photo shoot with his kids in Japan without him knowing they canceled it. And he didn't say which of his children were supposed to be involved. However, they canceled the photo shoot. So that's, I think, really what pissed him off more than anything else.
All right, number 2.
Number 2, Leonardo DiCaprio and Camilla Monroe break up after 4 years together. 4 years with Leo is quite a win in my books. The guy, That's a long-term relationship for Leonardo DiCaprio. And, he was 47, she was 25. They kept their relationship very, very private. They'd been together since January 2018. I guess they had met at an outing in Aspen, Colorado, and then made their debut as a couple when they sat together at the front row at the Oscars in 2020. But none of their reps decided not to talk for them, I guess, declined to comment on the whole situation. But they were very serious for a very long time. We saw them traveling all over the world together. They were together during the pandemic, so they've spent time together 24/7 during that whole lockdown period. And it seemed like he had found this person that there was a chance that he was going to settle down with, but in true DiCaprio fashion, he ended that.
Leo's 47 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. So I ran into Leo this week. I haven't seen him in a while, but I had a tip for the VMAs that this party was going on, and I got there. I was like the first person at the party because I should have known the party starts at 11, and I got there to like 11:02. I didn't know you're supposed to get there 3 hours late for it to be cool. But I go there, and Leonardo DiCaprio was smoking a cigarette outside. And it's weird because he was standing with this guy named Richie Akiva. Now Richie Akiva owns One Oak. He owns like all the hot spots in New York and LA. And I was walking up with my camera, and Richie saw me with my camera, but Leo did not see me with my camera. And as soon as I saw Leo, I go, oh shit! And I put my camera on the ground because Leo hates the paparazzi. He hates the cameras. And Richie saw it, and Leo didn't. Richie's like, hey man, thanks. Like kind of give me give me the wink, like no worries, like And Leo was just standing there smoking a cigarette. But I'm telling you, dude, when you see a Leonardo DiCaprio person, number one, he doesn't look his age. He does not look 47 years old. Number two, he looks like he'd be like an extra in Twilight. He just looks like a vampire. Like it's weird. It's just like there's like I wouldn't say he wears a hat always very low. He's always kind of like bundled up, but he just looks like a vampire in a good way.
Yeah, but you stick out on the streets of New York when you're wearing sunglasses and a hat, and it's 9 at night.
Yeah, I mean exactly. Like he does always he tries to hide so much that he actually stands out.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
You notice them right away when someone has the brim of their hat down to their chin. You're like, what the hell is this person doing? It looks so abnormal.
All right, Dax. The number one.
Oh, look at you fucker! You just had to sneak that story in, didn't you?
I mean, I got more to that story. Do you want the rest of that story? Nah, I don't need the more story. All right, the number one story.
Nah, just kidding. I love your stories. All right, number one story of the week. We've talked about this a lot. Erika Jayne scores a win in that $5 million fraud lawsuit. The court found no evidence of wrongdoing. So we've been watching this go back and forth. Erika Jayne, obviously from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she was hit with a $5 million fraud lawsuit. Her estranged husband, Tom Girardi, was wrapped up in all kinds of shenanigans, and his former colleagues basically went after him, went after her, said that she basically was participating in the wrongdoing and stealing a bunch of money from people and aiding and abetting Girardi in his alleged crime. And the court looked into this and they said, nope, they do not agree with the colleagues. They agreed with her that she had no knowledge of this and she wasn't fueling her lifestyle with this kind of money that he was taking out of the company.
I mean, huge win for her. I mean, this just kind of cleared a lot for her. I mean, just kind of this, man, there's been a lot of drama with Housewives, and
this has been probably the top drama, right? Like over the last year and a half.
Jen Shah's been really big in Salt Lake City because, No,
I'm talking Beverly Hills.
Oh, well, yeah, just in Beverly Hills, yes. I mean, this is a huge story. And, there's been other issues with cast members, not just Beverly Hills, with Jen Shah, Teresa Giudice, but she was the one who was actually sort of innocent, like did not know. Like, so it's a huge win. It kind of clears her name. And not saying Bravo.
And this was, by the way, the case where we talked about a couple weeks ago, where she had a pair of, $1 million diamond earrings that they were grabbing back from her because it was purchased with money that was embezzled out of the companies. Like, she is just getting screwed left and right.
Yeah. This just helped her name. Now do you feel bad for her a little bit, or like what's your vibe like that she has to go through all this? Like, what are your thoughts on Erika Jayne?
I mean, there's a certain level of like boohoo rich lady, but then
Yeah.
but then at the same time, I don't want anyone to be dragged into something that they weren't a part of. Like if she truly had absolutely no clue of what he was doing, then yeah, that is pretty messed up to believe your partner in life is doing everything in your best interest and then find out later that they were doing things and you are now taking the fall for it. That sucks.
Yeah, and actually, if you see like videos of Tom Girardi now, like the few pap videos and stuff that you've seen of Tom Girardi, I mean, he's shot. Like it's weird. He's like Harvey Weinstein before he went to jail was like a normal guy. Now that he's in jail, like it's just something happens. Like it just makes him go crazy. Like
Ages him
it ages him
a
so
lot.
quick, so fast. It's a wild. But that is our top 10 stories of the week. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Hollywood Raw Pod, P-O-D. We're on TikTok, Facebook. We have this private Facebook group, which you guys have been amazing. Kind of just talking, just rambling, just about other stuff,
Asking questions.
but even talking with each other, like about stuff. Like it's just fun.
There was a question that got put in there today that I thought was a really fun question. Let me see if I can find it.
I think
it basically asked me.
Is it to you?
It asked me.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Well, yeah. We can't talk over each other. Sorry. It basically asked me, you know that I got to see the first, like the Jay-Z and Solange video first. I said, give me some other things that you saw before the world. So they said, just name 3 things. And then they said, and tell me the most expensive deal you ever saw get done for content. And so if you'd like to see the answer, go to the Facebook group Off the Raw or Off the Record. I can't fucking talk right now. It's too late. I can't do this anymore. Go to Off the Record, the private Facebook group for Hollywood Raw, and you can see the answer of some of the like craziest things I got to see before the world did, and some of the most expensive set of photos that were ever purchased.
Yeah, that's cool. Follow us on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Run it all. Follow me at Adam Glynn, Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at DAXHOLT. Leave a review. Say 5 stars. Say a few kind words. Shout out to Dumois. We were on her podcast this week. It's a good interview. Check it out. And we'll see you guys next time. What's up, guys? If you like that video, there's plenty more where that came from.
Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell so we can just feed you all the goodness daily.
Hurry up. Come on. Let's go.